Hello, everybody, and welcome to IMAGI-NATION TV. And today we're gathering to talk about the idea of initiative. And that's the theme for this week as we think about what it means to get up and to act and to get things going. And we're stoked to have our partner school with us today. So we have Ballina Coast High School joining us, and we've got our co-hosts, Mariah and Stuart. Mariah, tell us, what does shame mean for you, and what do you think about shame?
Shame is just a word that people use to stop themselves from being able to pursue their ambitions, to do stuff that they want to do for themselves. So yeah, I think they just use the word shame to just hold them back from doing things that they really want to do.
Stuart, what do you want to learn from today?
I want to learn how people can stop using the word shame and get out there and do stuff they want to do.
Yeah, that sounds great. It sounds like an important move for us to move forward. I looked up in the dictionary before we had this show, because every morning I just read the dictionary for fun, and I saw the word shame, and underneath it said to be inadequate or unworthy. And I think that you kids and Aboriginal people are anything but inadequate or unworthy. I reckon the most adequate people and exceptional and have great talent and great gifts. So yeah, I reckon we punt that word shame and replace it with genius and intelligence and imagination and keep moving that way. Hey, we've got something special that we're about to share with everybody. Stuart and Mariah, should we get into it? Do you guys like special things?
Yeah, love them.
Good. Well, we just launched a fundraising campaign to help out this lady who's been knocking on the AIM door for almost 2 years now. She was a mentor with us in Uganda, and she's gone to Zimbabwe. She lives in Zimbabwe, and she's been trying to get AIM started in Zimbabwe. And so we're trying to see if we can raise 15,000 Australian dollars to support Saru to be the program manager on the ground, just like Mariah and Stuart. You have a program manager that you get to work with locally, and to see if we can lift up AIM in Zimbabwe. And this is a message from Saru as to what it would mean for her if we can raise those dollars to get AIM started on the ground there in Zimbabwe.
Yeah, that's good.
What would it mean to have AIM in Zimbabwe? Having AIM in Zimbabwe would mean a lot. It would mean a big deal to the kids, to the parents out there, to the community, to me, and to the country as a whole. Because a lot of kids in Zimbabwe have gone through serious challenges, and some were even born into these circumstances. Due to all this, kids have been left hopeless, discouraged, demotivated, powerless, and some have lost aspirations, and some don't have aspirations at all. However, when I was in Uganda, I met a friend who became my mentor, Shaka, and he introduced me to AIM. AIM gave me something powerful. It gave me some powerful thoughts. I began to think if we take AIM to Zimbabwe, it'll unlock imagination, create opportunities, create hope, and a lot more. But for all this to meaningfully happen, there's a bridge that needs to be constructed. A bridge that will take kids from one side to the other side. And the structure of the bridge is AIM. This structure allows for hope. It allows for belief in oneself, which is what the kids need right now. It allows for academic excellence because it creates a tremendous transition in the education sector. It will also give these kids a mentor, a partner, a friend to walk with in the journey of their academic life, as well as the journey of life in general. So I'm calling everyone that let's come together, create hope for Zimbabwe, build a bridge using the structure. AIM, the AIM program is the structure.
Thanks, Saru, and we're going to get around you and support you as much as we can. So we have in the comments, if we haven't shared it already, a link to where you can donate. Otherwise, we'll put it into the profile of this episode. and give you the chance to be able to support us to get this program into Saru's hands so she can have a job to get out there and mentor as many kids as possible in Zimbabwe and build that bridge and build that stage for these kids to rise up and take on those challenges. So that's what we're going to work on over the next couple of weeks. And now we're going to go into the 60-second challenge. So we have our Deputy School Principal of Ballina Coast High School with us here today, Aaron McDonald. Aaron, how are you travelling?
I'm good, thanks, Jack.
All right, well, let's get the timer started and let's start the 60-second challenge. Here we go. What is your idea of perfect happiness?
At the beach.
What's your greatest fear?
Sharks.
On what occasion are you out of your comfort zone?
Right now.
What would you like to see humans do more of?
Be kind to each other and develop positive relationships with each other.
What's your current state of mind?
My current state of mind is pretty good because I've been working from home for a period of time and I am relatively relaxed, yes.
What's your secret power?
Positivity.
What quality do you most like in puppets?
The furriness.
What do you consider your greatest achievement?
The greatest achievement is the role that I'm in right now, and the second greatest achievement is, a husband and father to 3 kids.
And what's the bravest goal you've ever set yourself?
Well, to become deputy principal, I believe.
Well, here we are. You've just done the 60-second challenge. Thank you for joining us, Aaron. Thanks to Ballina Coast High School for working with us. And yeah, and thanks to your commitment for working with all kids and trying to lift up kids for tomorrow. Good on you.
Yes.
All right, we now have the University of New England joining us, and we're lucky today to have the Chancellor with us, Professor Todd Walker. Todd, how you feeling? You ready to rumble?
I'm ready to rumble, Jack.
All right, let's go into the big questions and let's see how we go. I've got the 60-second. Off we go now. What's your most treasured possession?
My road bike.
Who are your favourite riders?
Australian riders, Tim Winton, Richard Flanagan, Helen Garner.
What is freedom to you?
A free diary.
What are your favourite names?
The names I gave my kids, Jack and Kate.
Good name, Jack. What is your motto?
You have to work on the situation before the situation works on you.
Where would you most like to live?
By the beach.
What words or phrases do you most overuse?
At the end of the day, all things considered, all the management words.
What quality do you most value in people?
Honesty.
What's your current state of mind?
Anxious, because I want to have some pretty cool or funny answers here.
What quality do you most like in puppets?
Flexibility.
What's the best question you've ever been asked?
Where I want to be in 5 years.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your commitment to education and being a part of what we're doing here with IMAGI-NATION TV and with AIM broadly. Good on you.
And you too. Thank you, Jack.
Thanks, Todd. Mariah, Stewart, what do you think? How would you score your deputy principal out of 10?
I reckon an 8.
An 8,
Yeah,
yeah,
I've got
good.
about 8.5.
8.5. They're great scores.
As I said, I want the pressure before.
What about for our guest chancellor from University of New England? What do you reckon out of 10?
Yeah, I'll go about an 8 as well. 8.
Oh, yeah, I reckon 8. It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Brilliant. All right. Love the scores coming in. We've got some love coming in from the chat line, and lots of people are excited to be a part of the show. So throw in your questions today as we build out this IMAGI-NATION project and keep working together. And coming up next, we've got a new project that we've launched in the last month to help people pay their rent. So a quick video on that, and then we'll catch up with a couple of people on the other side. We just like doing stuff at AIM. When we see a problem, we think, how can we be a part of the solution and help people out? So when COVID struck, there's close to 1 million Australians who were struggling to be able to pay their rent. And so we thought, well, what can we do? And we created a hoodie where 50% of the hoodie goes to support people paying their rent, and the other 50% goes to helping mentor kids. So we've had a couple of hundred people apply to be registered hoodie connectors with us, and they go to our website and type in how they're struggling to pay rent, and then we give them an official hoodie connector code, and they can go out and sell hoodies themselves, and they get 50% of every of those sales that comes to them. So it's about $30 per sale that they get. And then for all the hoodies that we sell directly through the website, we do an even share of the profits across all our hoodie connectors. So we were stoked last week to share $300 worth of rent support to everyone who's registered as a hoodie connector with us at the moment. And today we've got Kendall Fairweather, who's joining us really quickly. Kendall, why did you buy one of these hoodies on the other side? What sort of stood out for you?
Hi, Jack. Thanks for having me here today. So I worked with AIM over 8 years ago in Sydney as a mentor, and I've always loved the message of AIM to support and uplift each other. And I thought that these hoodies were a really great opportunity and another opportunity for me to help everybody behind the scenes at AIM, getting kids connected to mentors, and also to support people that are having a tough time right now. So that's really what drove me to grab a hoodie, and I'm really, really excited. Thanks for having me on the show today.
Oh, it's a pleasure, and thanks for jumping on a new idea. You know, often when we're creating new ideas, sometimes people wait to see how they go, and then when they become popular or cool, you like jump onto that idea a little bit later. Our commitment with This Hoodie Pays Rent, as it is with IMAGI-NATION TV, is we'll keep doing this forever now. You know, we want to put a mentor in the home every single day through IMAGI-NATION TV, and we hope that This Hoodie Pays Rent can do what the Big Issue has done for so many homeless people around the world over the next 50 years and help pay rent all around the world for people. So I think, you know, jumping into things early, when you do that, you feed hope, you feed imagination, and thanks for being a partner and an ally of creating ideas and working together with people. We're going to jump over to Nigeria now and hear from Simon Mazda, who is one of our connectors who's out there trying to work out how to hustle some support to pay his rent.
Hi, my name is Simon Mazda from Nigeria. I studied sociology, and I got to know about Amy through information a friend passed to me. Currently, I am still scouting for a job. I really need the program, the support of the Hoodie Pays Rent, because the program is meant for people who are having it difficult, people who don't really have what it takes to help them set up their lives, and I really need support right now. And when I got to know about the program, I felt I was one among the people who are supposed to be beneficiaries of the program, and I signed up straight up on the Hoodie Pays Rent to be a hoodie connector, and I'm really glad I did.
Good on you, Simon. We'll see what we can do to help you out over the coming years as we move ahead. If you want to grab one of these hoodies that pay rent, head to aimmentoring.com. And if you want to be a connector, you can also jump through the website and apply to get some support with your rent. And if you know people are struggling with rent and that need a hand, this is one way that they can have some support during those times. So we're looking at, in Australia alone, 1.5 million young people potentially unemployed over the next 3 years. And we're going to require a lot of us thinking creatively about how we lift up a generation of young people. And a lot of young people who have really said, hey, COVID-19, whilst it's not necessarily life-threatening to us, we're going to take one for the team, and we're going to make sure we go into isolation so we don't carry this disease and affect people that are more vulnerable and exposed to it. And as we move into the next generation and think about the challenges of our time, including things like climate change, working out how we work complexly across generations to come together and work out what sacrifices we can make to make sure people don't get left behind is going to be really important for us. Stuart, what do you want to know about anything in the world? What's a question that's on your mind?
How they're going with the COVID and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, that's a great question. We're about to head over to catching up with them, and that might be the first question we kickstart it with. So we'll go and meet them. We've got a quick video to introduce the Imagine film project that we're working on, which is a co-created feature film with a live Google Doc where we're creating a film together to imagine what's possible.
Okay.
Most of us love the story of the child who is sidelined by life because of the situation they were born into or the color of their skin, and then one day becomes a champion or a success or a hero. This is the kind of story we hope will inspire marginalized kids to dream big and make their dream come true. But what if we did it differently?
How are we gonna do that?
Flipping the script is about not letting the hand you've been dealt stop you from achieving your goals.
Imagine realizing that you can actually flip the script that's been given to you and start writing your own story.
We have to challenge the norm.
So what if we ask the kids we don't usually hear from, the ones who are sidelined by life, to be our storytellers?
The project Imagine gives us all the power to flip the script.
We invite all of you, all humans everywhere, to join us in a live experiment.
The time for talk been over. It's time for some action.
And there is genuinely no limit to what you can achieve.
There is no limit to any imaginative juices.
Use that kind of like just around the corner idea, so you can bring in technology and ideas or social constructs that don't exist and bring them into this world.
Let's write the next chapter of human history collectively.
Imagine the wealth of stories and ideas just waiting to come into the world. Imagine the new horizons, if we flip the script. Welcome to the Imagine Film Project.
Alrighty, stoked to bring together some of our designers today on this design panel, and we're looking at the topic of initiative. And for Stuart's question, how are you coping with COVID-19? Let's have that as a question for our chat line. So I'd love to hear your responses, and we'll come back to them at the end of the show and try and share some of that knowledge and that wisdom. Rob Caslick, tell us a little bit about your story and what initiative means in your world.
Jack, I set up a social enterprise called Too Good. So we sell food and things to people, and we use the profits of those sales to donate to women's shelters, primarily initiative. How do we rise in this? This is the needs of our community.
Yeah, that's a brilliant thing to start and to move through on. Wesley, when you're involved with creating stories, which you have been for quite some time, I'd love to know how you seize that initiative against the demons of doubt. How do you take that leadership role and put yourself forward and put your voice and your ideas out there?
Well, I think that doubt is always a really useful thing, that you can actually go, but it shouldn't stop you. Doubt helps you push yourself forward, going, oh, what are the questions I have and how can I answer them? And the big thing is to have confidence to go along with it. For me, as someone who you have to get up every day and look at a blank piece of paper and take the initiative to start. And if anything, it's the starting that's the hardest. So for me, I just go, right, what does it matter? Don't judge yourself. You go forward and you say, I'm going to put the first words on the page. I'm going to draw the first picture. I'm going to tell the first story. And this whole thing that the past is history and has lessons in it, but it's not your future. And what you need to do is to, as we've been saying, flip the script and say, the past, what are the lessons to learn? And how am I writing my future by taking the initiative in the first step?
Price, can you remember when you were Stuart or Mariah's age? And can you remember whether you'd already started on stories there, or did you have to have a brave leap of faith to then go, okay, how do I get the confidence to create a story, put either a pen or pencil on the paper, and two, to share it? What was your journey from being at school to then finding your way into that? Just if you want to jump off mute and then.
Sorry. Am I back on? There we go. I came into it really late. So I think around 27, 28, when I first started sort of picking up a camera and trying to tell stories and stuff like that. So I'm just very jealous that all these guys are on it so early. So, it's a hat tip.
Bec, we've got Rianne Miller saying, can't wait to hear from Bec Bignell today on the chat line. So good to see that there's some love coming through. What does the word initiative mean to you?
Sorry about that. That took me a little bit of time. I had to really use my initiative to get off mute there. The word initiative means to me, I guess I'm from the bush, and so with like the creative arts, I always felt like it was a bit tricky to get access to it. So I figure I'm a little bit like a like yappy little chihuahua, where I just have always had to just like yap away at people's heels. And so initiative for me is a bit like a yappy chihuahua, where sometimes you just got to like keep on yapping until someone listens to you. And even if they don't, yap away. That's my take on initiative.
If you've got, Rob, when you're doing the work you're doing, I imagine you take quite a lot of energy from the people that you're working with, both good and there's probably not a fair binary, and energy which lifts you up and gives you energy which sometimes is quite hard for you to deal with. How do you translate that energy that can sometimes pull you down, and how do you stay hopeful?
It really drives me. So seeing the impact that we have, it just kind of drives me harder and harder. I see a small amount of transformation that's happened within a person, and I thought, wow, that's amazing. That's in fact why I resigned from my engineering day job and focusing on this full time. Just that it really lifts me up, and just to see some kind of area where you've been able to walk beside someone and help them along their way, it just gives me energy.
Well, let's get a bunch of energy, because we're about to go live into a writer's room in this co-created film called Imagine. So we've got Stuart, one of our co-hosts, just chucked in the chat line, how do you use your imagination? Well, we're about to do it right now. So here's the story. We're going to go for about 10 to 15 minutes on any level of offerings into this script. So we've got a live Google Doc, which you can jump on through aimmentoring.com if you're in the chat line, and you can add to it. And we've had heaps of contributions. There's people doing storyboarding, and this is where the story's at. So there's a 15-year-old kid who is a bully, whose name is Kim. Now, Kim is potentially gender non-binary, so somewhere in between. It may vary from being a female to a male or in between. Kim has got a really, really messy room, the messiest room you could ever imagine. Stuart, have you ever had a messy room?
Yeah, I have.
Mariah, you ever had a messy room?
Yeah, I've always been a clean freak, so no, not really. Well, sometimes, yeah.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad you've done that as well. So this kid Kim has got just mess everywhere. Have to crawl through all the mess. Gets onto the bed. Claw comes over just as Kim's about to go to sleep, and whack, pulls Kim underneath the bed. Now Kim ends up in an ocean alone on a boat, except someone else gets pulled in by a claw and is sitting on the boat with her, an alien dog named Jeff. So we've got Kim and Jeff. There's 6 islands. And the islands are where we then get to go on journey, on Kim's journey, which the arc that's been set up so far has been that Kim is trying to learn what it means to be a bully, and potentially meeting people along the way that she's bullied, and coming to face with that monster and those demons inside of her, or inside of them, apologies. So Kim goes to the first island, and then this is sort of in the Act 1 first couple of scenes. She sees a schoolyard scene, and there's a young man who is bullying an even younger kid, and the younger kid is eating burger rings, just munching them away. The bully grabs the burger rings off the young kid, and Kim and the alien dog Jeff see them walk up to the bully and turn them around, and the bully from behind looks a lot like Kim. Turns out not to be Kim. Then Kim looks down at the face of the little kid and sees that the little kid is actually his dad, or their dad. So then Kim has a flashback scene to Kim's dad eating a bunch of burger rings, taking it from Kim as a kid, which was Wayne Blair's offering. Wayne Blair really took us deep into burger ring territory. And then we have landed here. So we've got 5 islands we can explore and move into and try and journey through. So I'd love to just know at a top level, it can be directly related to this story, or it can be completely indirectly, and we'll try and find the bridges to it. What do you want to see in a story like this? What are things that you guys would love to see come to life? And let's build it out, and I'll take notes for us into the Google Doc.
I'd like to see some magic in there as well. We've got an alien dog, and I like the idea that around the neck of the alien dog is a ring that happens to look like a burger ring, but it's got special powers. And so that the character puts the burger ring on their finger, and they get to see the world from different perspectives.
I love that. Can you all tell me a little bit more about this alien dog and their story? So they've been scooped from somewhere. Can we get a bit of a sense? I love the magic ring that's on their chest. Where's the alien dog from, Jeff?
I think that Jeff is actually not an alien, but from the future. So it looks like an alien. That it's this. Jeff's got the power to travel through time, and so that Jeff has jumped back from a preferred future. So has lots of wisdom of what the future might have to offer. So it's actually like a parallel universe, a different time zone that Jeff's jumped back from, and has come back to engage and find new meaning in life and give new wisdom.
And so, Bec, where is the universe that Jeff has come from, this parallel universe? What does that look like? What time is it? Where?
I think the time is a time, like a majestical time. So kind of Lord of the Rings style time, but everything is in pastel colors. So instead of the traditional sort of, like that palette that we see, it's like, the crowns and the weapons and everything like that are actually like purple and aquamarine and pink and those sorts of colors.
Mariah, what would you like to see in this story?
Just include more more characters, and like in the other islands there could be like things that help like the bully and I think it's Jeff to like see what like effects they are doing to people by bullying. It's like people that help them understand the things they're doing. So like making them notice the actions.
If we go to the second island, we've got I think there's a glub on the second island, and the glub, Kim and Jeff arrive on the second island, and the glub comes up to say hello, and then Kim bullies the glub, and the glub runs off, and that journey on the second island becomes trying to find the glub. If we go to the third island, what's a character that Kim and Jeff might want to interact with?
Something that's bigger than Kim, that can show her what she's doing to other people.
So something bullying Kim, so Kim knows how it feels to be bullied. So yeah.
Yeah.
What does that big creature look like? How big is it? Is it the size of a car? Is it the size of a building? Is it the size of a bridge? Is it the size of a planet? How big is it?
Semi-trailer.
Semi-trailer, perfect. And what's its name?
Bob.
Bob.
Okay. Bob, is it a semi-trailer? That's the character?
No.
Yeah, it's like a vehicle type thing.
Okay. Like Transformer sort of thing. Vehicle type thing. All right, cool. Let's go to Price. What's in your brain? What's whirring around? What are some ideas and thoughts you've got?
Well, I quite like the similarities with sort of Labyrinth, the Jim Henson movie. And I think if there is a sort of large, maybe they interact with something kind of like a large creature. I was thinking in my head Ludo, which is sort of ominous and scary, but actually has a really kind heart. And maybe there's a sort of Pied Piper thing where they kind of go along with them, or she takes these different characters and they kind of together there's sort of a strength in the numbers. And but that was my first thought, was like how, it was just very kind of, I guess when you're writing a fantasy movie like this, is to establish what is the kind of feeling of it. And if it's a sort of animation or it's a sort of a puppet kind of Jim Henson type thing.
Yeah, the chaos of this one is we're then going to line up a bunch of creators to make different segments of the show. So it's going to go montage in and out of sometimes stop animation, sometimes hyper-realized, sometimes...
cool.
So it's going to move through all of these different worlds for us. The other interesting part, I reckon, which we could, while we've got the next sort of 5 minutes, why don't we have a play above and below the boat? So we've got the ocean, and then we've got the sky. So if we're thinking about those accompanying characters, maybe there could be, a couple of characters that move around. Well, I'll leave that thought to percolate. Rob, what's something that you'd love to see if you were watching a feature film, and what's something you'd love to see in it, or some ideas that pop in your mind as we're moving through?
I just wanted to talk about the shame, like what the kids brought up before around how do we bring in elements of shame into the story, and how do we get through some of that. I'd like to be able to explore that. And speaking of below the ocean, you can't really have a story that big Moby Dick. I like a big whale under there somewhere.
We had Bruce Pascoe on the show last week who was talking about whales and saying that Aboriginal people had worked out that whales had a pelvis, and in the I think 1980s we had scientists then work it out scientifically in the 1980s. So the whale could be a really interesting character or story about learning how to talk or engaging in that. We've got some amazing chats coming through. We've got Bamali Aboriginal Artists Corp saying can the poop of the alien dog become burger rings? Great offer. Yep, well, feel free to jump on and add that as a thought. What's above and below? So maybe there's a whale. If there is a whale there, tell us a little bit about the whale.
Can we throw some turbocharged action in?
Absolutely. I love turbocharged action. Just give me a turbocharged action scene. We'll put it anywhere.
If we're below the boat, and we talked about sharks before, or like giant squid or something, like there's some kind of heavy pursuit in the underwater world that is like crazy. And the dog could fall over the boat because dogs attract sharks, don't they? I think maybe. So someone has to protect the dog, and there's
burger ring.
Oh, and a burger ring, so even more attractive.
It's a really gnarly idea. Chicago's actually built on 3 levels as a city. So they've got I'm pretty sure it's the garbage is 1 level, and then the second level is transport, and the third level is cars. So you could have this fast-paced level, like where there's some sort of mission or quest that's happening underneath the boat, or something that's powering the boat is moving. That could be really fascinating to go down into. And just what's the reason? Why would Kim look into the water? What's the reason why they'd look down into the water? What do you think, Wesley or Price?
Oh, I'm thinking that in fact each island is on the back of a whale, and so at one point a huge tail comes up and slaps the water, and Kim suddenly realizes that each of these islands are connected to whales, and looks down and sees that there's all this life kind of swimming around, and the fast chase is going on, and she doesn't know what that's about. And while they're looking over, that's when Jeff falls off over the edge of the boat into the water, and the sharks start to circle. And in fact, the islands start to circle too, because they're moving, because each of the whales is kind of watching what's going on as well.
Well, your reveal at the end could be that part of what could release the islands and that weight and that heaviness and those monsters and those journeys and those characters could be that the islands could lift up and then move. Sort of got a Studio Ghibli kind of Ponyo world vibe.
Well, I like that maybe the islands then get picked up by massive birds, and that the birds can then fly with the islands and take the weight from the whale.
All right, we got maybe 120 seconds left. Any offering that you want to throw in from our guest panel today, we'll try and weave it into this story.
I do quite fancy the idea about some kind of choir in the ocean, maybe everyone coming together to sing, because I am quite the fan of Little Mermaid. So I like this idea of some claws or some kind of musical component where
it just is a musical. That's done. We've got that then. The ocean is a musical. So when we're going down to the ocean, it's always there's beat music, there's lots of different tunes, and we're moving across to all the different underground is lighting us up with.
And then there's whale song coming in as well.
Yeah. There's a seaweed anthem with
the sharks rapping as well.
Disney.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, well, the good thing about hopefully what we can do together, Stuart, is Walt did have a few challenges because he was quite racist, and some of his stories really work on paradigms which they present perfect white people, and people of color are often put into really lowered positions. And here's the other kicker, which I loved Disney as a kid. Lion King was awesome, and
love it.
You can still love some things, but understanding the context of the story or where they come from. And how about this for a story? So Disney actually bought the rights of Hakuna Matata, which is a Swahili phrase, which means in their traditional language, people who speak Swahili, they weren't allowed to publish that phrase without potentially being sued from Disney. So understanding that there's complexity underneath each story, and hopefully this one that we make together can have that imagination, can stand for fairness and equality, and the proceeds of what we do goes back to helping kids day in, day out. All right, we're almost there. Price, Wesley, Bec, Rob, have you got any final offers for us?
Oh, I was just thinking that this story sounds a little like Odysseus, the Greek story too, where Odysseus travels to every island and gets different lessons. So it might even be something that people want to look at some of these historic stories to bring to it as well.
And maybe the third island's a library. A librarian could take us back and we could look at some of these texts, and it's a way to bring in, some of these fantastic texts and learn about it.
That's a great idea.
All right, I think that's a wrap. How did it go, Price? Do you have a good time with that? Just got you on mute, sorry.
Yeah.
I think our guys then unmuted you, and then you had a battle of the unmute from our guys. And I'll leave
I think that's what happened. But no, sound was a little dodgy. I was in there, but my Wi-Fi is heinous. So
we'll share with you the Google Doc. If you've got any thoughts or offerings you want to have a play.
I did check it out. Yeah, there's some cool stuff on there. It's great. I mean, I guess that's the thing with fantasy. You've got there's no, there's so much scope. It's nice to kind of come in with something simple and then layer on top of that, I guess, with the style of the worlds.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us and being a part of it. Rob, thank you for joining us. Bec, thank you for joining us. Wesley, thank you for being a part of Imagination TV today. You guys were great.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for having us.
Pleasure. Well, we're going to get this script into some sort of form by the end of May, and then we're going to bring together 5 professional writers who have worked on films and in different worlds before, and give them the chance over the course of the month to build shape to it, look to build a production team around it, and then we'll start to move into getting our creators to create this film, and hopefully this can tell a story of this time and then of a time of imagining of what the future looks like. So thanks a lot to our panel for being involved and being a part of the show today. Stuart and Mariah, what do you reckon? What did you learn?
That imagination it's never ending. So, yeah.
It can take you anywhere.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Imagination can take you anywhere that you want to. You can make stories up.
Yeah, the sky's the limit with imagination.
And then you can take those stories and make them real. And then you can play. And one of the things that, imagination gives us is it gives us a chance to rewrite the stories that people might tell of us and go, oh, no, actually, I can pick up a pen or a pencil and I can write stories in my life. And when people talk about goal setting, they're basically just asking you to write a feature film from which you're going to play a character in it. And so you think of your life in story, that can be a bit more fun sometimes than going, oh, what's the goal going to be? What's after school? Like, what's the best story I want to live in my life? And then try and bring that to life day in, day out.
Yeah, I live out in the bush, and imagination is unreal because you can go build stuff, whatever, in the bush and go make hideouts and all that. It's unreal how when you don't notice what's around you, it's unreal.
Yeah, it's unreal. Absolutely. Well, thank you both for joining us today. We're going to finish up the show now with a good friend of mine named Hope, and she's going to give out the design awards, which we do weekly, to a youngster who's working on creating design for a fairer world. And this week for our Lifetime Achievement Award, we sort of extended the criteria a little bit because this designer has just had such an impact on the world, and we wanted to recognise her work for what she's done. So thanks everyone for joining us on Imagination TV. We've got 7 or 8 days left to keep writing this script, and then we'll close it off and start building out this feature film. And let's keep working on how we bring a mentor into every kid's home every single day and keep building this thing together. So thanks to our panel, thanks to our partner school, Ballina Coast High School, thanks to University of New England, our sponsor partner for today's show, and a great university we work with in the physical world as well. So thanks everyone. Thanks to our co-hosts, Mariah and Stuart, you did brilliant.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.
Our pleasure. All right, let's throw over to Hope, and everyone look after yourselves, and we'll catch you tomorrow.
See ya, Jack.
the Hope's Design Awards. Today's Future Award winner is Emma Yang. Emma began coding when she was just 6 years old. She quickly fell in love with being able to create code that could really make a difference in people's lives. When Emma was young, wow, it's amazing, her grandmother developed Alzheimer's, so at age 12, Emma developed the Timeless app. Timeless is designed with facial recognition software to help people like Emma's grandmother connect to their family and remember events. Incredible. She received a whole bunch of recognition awards. Even Bill Gates is a fan. She's a big advocate for girls in code and STEM and passionate about using her skills to solve real-world problems and encourages other young people to do so as well. Amazing work, Emma Yang. Lots of love from me and congratulations on winning the Future Award this week. The Lifetime Achievement Award goes to Paula Scher. Paula is the most influential graphic designer on the planet. She's been pumping out iconic, familiar, fun and meaningful designs for over 40 years. I love you, Paula. And has helped create the brand identities of some of the world's biggest brands, most cultural significant institutions, from Tiffany and Co. to Microsoft and the Museum of Modern Art to the Public Theatre. I love the Public Theatre and it's really cool to see stories there. Her signature style uses typography as a visual language, but a functional art form that communicates a sense of place. Her designs are embedded in the culture of New York City and they're items we often find in our everyday life, and as an artist she creates large-scale installations. She's had a huge impact and is driven by the hope that her best work is yet to come. I'm driven by that hope too. Congratulations, Paula Scher. It's our honour to give you the Lifetime Achievement Award today from me. That's it for Hope's Design Awards. We'll see you all next time.